Howdy out there, all you collector car fans. This is Jason, the owner and founder of Southern Bush Motorsports. Boy, do I have a treat for you today. In case you're wondering, yes, that is the hidden first publicly made muscle car drag car by Sox and Martin for a public customer. We are entering what is called a true boneyard. This is a Mopar boneyard. And by the definition, I mean there was cars and parts everywhere. I'm probably going to have to do a two-part series because there was just way too much. I was out here for quite a long time, almost 4 days. Became pretty good friends with the fellow that owned all this stuff. But this old coot was in it for the business. He was in it for the cars. He was in it for the parts. His money was made by parts, not really by the cars. He didn't really like selling the whole cars. He liked selling the parts. Now, I became pretty good friends with him, and he allowed me to take some of the whole cars out there, but this is going to be a pretty good video for y'all to watch, because towards the end of it, for those that actually stuck to the end of it and watched, I'm going to tell you where this boneyard is. No joke. I'm going to tell you exactly where this boneyard is. So look at all these cars lined up. In the years, you put them in here. Those are all valve covers that are lined up on the fence. Valve covers that people would kill for to have the correct one. Just convertible. Just lying in the middle of a field convertible. Just so much crazy stuff. I think that's why I have to do a part two, because once he trusted me enough, he allowed me to get into where he stored all of his parts. And that was some crazy shit. That was just insane. I'm talking 446 pack setups, carburetors, intake manifolds, all NOS. Hemi engines, NOS. Like, I don't even know if a Hemi engine can be NOS, but brand new. There were warranty replacement motors that never got put into cars. It was sick. It was totally sick. It was mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. So now I got all that out of the way. Let's try to start, actually. Yeah, see, there's the back end. So this was the first publicly made race car by Sox and Martin for a general public person. The car's been hidden. Nobody even knows that the car's there. And this is probably going to be some sort of a big reveal, because he wouldn't sell it, so I'm pretty sure that car's still sitting there. You know, darts, demons, dusters, chargers. I will tell you, you go out venturing looking for this guy after I tell everybody where he is. He's a good guy, but don't argue with him about prices, because he'll just tell you to bugger off. He knows what he's got, and this is his income. He does nothing else but this. So, I mean, look at that. It was just insane. Biggest problem I had was rattlesnakes, black widow spiders, you know, trying to traverse through these cars. He gave me a lot of leeway. I packed lunches. I stayed out there for days at a time. But it was a lot of work trying to document this. And yes, these pictures are crappy. There's a nice bear, I think it's a barracuda right there. But you're talking, this is in 2000. This is before people started getting out there. Charger, look at that Charger body. Look, no rust in the sail panel. These are all Florida cars. I had gone into town a few times, eat at diners and that, and this old Jerry was a legend. Boy, he used to get into trouble in that town when he was a teenager. I lived in the same house that he's living in right now. He grew up in that house. Got like 80, 70 years old. But he spent more time at the courthouse with the judges and that for tearing up the town with these old muscle cars. And I guess he just started collecting them all. I mean, look at how straight and solid that car body is. I think that was a Cornet. I'm not sure. There's a Charger RT right there. Another one beside it. I mean, it would be next to impossible to get a car out of there the way that he buried them in. But he was a parts guy. That's all he wanted to do was sell the parts off these cars. I mean, look at these cars. They look like crap because they have surface rust, but they are super solid cars. Not some fancy. You're not going to find a Hemi or six-pack car in there. No way. It's not happening. But will you find an original fender? I mean, look at that car right there. I think that was just a 68 Cornet. Car is super solid, super straight, untouched. There, another 70 Charger. Not a Hemi Charger, not a six-pack Charger. There's nothing rare about that car at all. But I bet you'd kill for those two front fenders and that bumper. I mean, look at that right there. It's a 69 Charger right there. Panels are a little thin from the rust, but I bought that car right there because it was kind of out in the open, and he told me I could buy it. I did real well with that car too. 68 wasn't an RT. There's a Roadrunner right there. Look at the hoods on them. You know, the body panels. Everything was solid. All these cars, that car's got a little bit of rust on it. Probably it looks like the roof might have a vinyl top, rotted out. I think I bought that Roadrunner too. I'm pretty sure I did. That was a really cool car. This is the one place in the beginning of my career where I learned a valuable lesson. Somebody had called me about coming and taking a look at some of the cars. And I had already arranged with the fella there that I was coming out with some guy. He picked me up at the private airport in South Carolina, and he flew me on his private plane out to where this collection was, and he bought one car, and then that was it. I thought I did good. 68 Charger right there. Turned out, I come back, and the guy had called me, and he said, that guy came back the next day, and he bought a crap ton of stuff. I'm like, well, did you sell it to him? He's like, well, of course I sold it to him. But it was afterwards that my wife said, it was kind of odd he came back without Jason. And he goes, yeah, I think we might have got hustled right there. But so I learned a pretty good lesson, and that's why from then on in, I never let people meet the owners of collections, and I never brought them to a collection because I got burned out of a lot of stuff. This guy bought probably 50 grand worth of stuff that's off this old coot, and I got cut out of the deal. But, I was young, dumb, and lesson to be learned, right? The thing that makes this place so special is that this guy was smart enough back in the 80s to start doing this, because that's when he got started. Look at all those cars just lined up there, and as far back as you can see. The craziest part is this entire place is about 20 acres. All these fenders sitting, he's not worried about them rusted out being outside like that because it was in a warm place. Body trim. He didn't waste anything. If he took a piece of body trim off, he kept the little screws, tied them together. He absolutely did not waste anything. This was his business. He was a genius about doing this. He knew from the beginning that this was going to be his business. And let me tell you something. The man is good at what he does. He's a little hard to deal with. Don't argue with him about the prices because, like I said, he'll just tell you to bugger the hell off. He doesn't care. You can catch him at some of these shows and bigger car shows and stuff, and he knows what he's got, and he's going to charge you for it. Cars upon cars, rows and rows of cars. This is what the definition of a true Mopar boneyard is. It is the idyllic definition of what a true Mopar boneyard is. He literally kept everything. He didn't waste anything. That's why I said I'm going to have to do a two-part series, because he had buildings full of parts and NOS parts and six-pack setups and Hemi engines, and just it was just insane. Like, if you wanted an NOS alternator because you're doing a 70 Hemi Cuda, this is the guy you talk to. If you want a NOS body panel, definitely the guy you talk to. Even if you had like a Challenger right there, I think it was 72, 73 Challenger, nothing special, but you really wanted to restore your Challenger, he's still the guy you go and talk to. No question. So at the end, when I reveal where this place is, let me give you some advice and some tips. Respect him for what he does. Don't argue with him. He's a great person. Super cool guy. Oh, look at that Super B right there. Completely untouched. And look at how solid that car is. There were some cars like that, he just said, no parts come off the car, just like the way it is. And he did like to sell some of the whole cars, but his big thing was parts. So when you're out there, I bought that 69 Charger off of him. Look at the car. A little rough looking, scary, but it's still got hubcaps on it. It had some rust on it, but, it's a nice 72 or so Barracuda. Respect the guy. Don't argue with him about the prices. And he's high because he knows what he's got, and this is his livelihood. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for parts and you can't find them anywhere else and you really want hard to find parts, this is the guy. I mean, look at that. Chargers. Rows of Chargers and Cornets and whatever just lined up everywhere. Nice 70 Barracuda. Completely untouched car. Right? A little rough, but it's a great place to start. Like I said, he was adamant about selling parts off of cars. If you needed a part and he had it, no problem. But you know what? Bring your tools with you, because he ain't taking shit off the car. You tell him what you want, and he's going to tell you, okay, you go take the part off. And you're not getting any special deal because you took the part off. No way. You're going to get that part that you want, but you're sure it's all going to be the one that takes that part off that car. And he's going to watch you like a hawk to make sure you're not screwing this stuff up. There's a shot I took from the corner of one of the yards. There's 3 of these yards on his property. And he got some cars. I mean, I believe he had a friend or he owned a towing company. Anyways, hopefully we'll enjoy the coming out, checking another Tales from the Bush. And like I said, there might be another part 2 of this Mopar Boneyard.